Hey, today I want to try something a little bit different. I want to talk straight down the barrel, have a conversation between you and me, no script, none of that. So bear with me as I barrel through this for the first time and give it a go. I want to talk today about how investing has changed my life, how it's made my life better. As corny as it sounds, it's true. And I want to talk about how investing can do that for you as well. To give you a little background, I've always aspired towards the arts. So ever since I was a kid, I just wanted to sketch, draw, paint, all of that. And then I remember in middle school, the first time I ever heard Bullet with Butterfly Wings by Smashing Pumpkins. Man, it changed my life. It really did. I just felt compelled to pick up a guitar, learn how to play, and form a band. I don't know what it was about that song. It really just actually, it literally changed my life because I ended up pursuing music for about literally a decade of my life, college and then post college. I was in a band, I did solo stuff, I toured, I performed, I released albums. And then after music, in around 2011, I was in New York City in the East Village and I got scouted by a modeling scout. And I ended up modeling for about, you know, 13, 14 years. I'm still doing it to this day. And it allowed me to travel to Europe, to places I've never been, like places like Moscow in Russia, um, to do modeling jobs and also to be able to travel and explore. And so I'm super grateful for that. And then maybe about 5, 6 years ago, I got really into acting, meaning I took classes, I trained, and then I was lucky enough to book a TV show as a series regular for 3 seasons, which was amazing. We shot in Vancouver, so that was awesome too. I'd never been to Vancouver, and now I love Vancouver. If you've never been, whew, highly recommended. So, to recap, basically, I've lived the life of an artist, right? And so that's very counter to the 9 to 5 regular full time job, like a corporate job, for example, right? My wife has a 9 to 5 job. And thankfully, if you're an artist, you know what I mean. And what I mean is actually that when you have a 9 to 5 job, you have stable income, right? So you have a biweekly paycheck, 401k, all of that. But when you're an artist, it comes in spurts, right? So you have case by case jobs, right? So sometimes you could have a long break where you're not working, right? And so what I find investing helps a lot in that particular respect is it creates a foundation, right? So when you're making money from case by case jobs, let's say you make a certain amount in January, and then you don't make as much in February, but then in April, you end up booking a big job. You need to make that money work for you, right? You need to compensate for the fact that you're not getting that bi-weekly scheduled routine paycheck, right? So the way that I found the most optimal way I found for that money to work for me and to lay it almost like seeds in the ground and grow a tree in the form of more money is investing, specifically in the American stock market. And I've been doing it for about 20 years. Been doing it for about 20 years. Some of these investments, like Apple, I've owned, I believe, around 12, 13 years. And, you really see the compounding happen over time, especially after year 5, for example, right? And so in this video, I just want to talk about how that's helped me. And if you're in a freelance or a contracting kind of career, I think this is especially helpful, kind of like my situation. Actors, models, musicians, creators, influencers, you name it. But also, if you're a full time or part time worker, for lack of a better word, this is applicable too. It's basically a way for you to capitalize on that hard earned money that you've made to let it appreciate over time. So the first way it's helped me is to beat inflation over time. So we all know when you dine out, you go and buy Starbucks coffee, and you've seen, especially in recent times, how much prices of goods have appreciated over time, right? Just think about eggs, right? I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, I don't know, you can get a dozen eggs for, I'm just going to throw it out there, maybe, I don't know, $5, right? And these days you can easily see double digits, right? $12, $13, sometimes more, depending on the nature of the eggs, organic, free range, all that. So prices appreciate over time, right? Boba back in the day was like, I don't know, $4. Now it's like 8, $9, right? That's like more than double. Yes, that's double, right? So if you think about your cash and your money, if it's just been sitting there the whole time, let's say under your bed or in a bank account, maybe you're getting a little interest in the bank account. Usually it's pretty nominal, right? Not a lot. Um, that's not appreciating like these prices of goods are appreciating, right? So you need to let your money grow to like battle that inflation, right? And so stocks over time have proven again and again to appreciate over many, many years, right? Obviously, your time horizon has to be a little bit longer. Again, I'm not a day trader, and so I'm not like, sitting there trading stocks every day. You buy sound investments, and then you let them compound over time. And we're talking about 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, right? And so s- investments have been a really helpful way to deal with that, to outpace inflation. Investing has also helped me learn more about the world. Believe me when I say this, if you haven't invested in a stock yet, the day you do, whether it's $300 or $10,000, you will start to pay a lot more attention to that company and what it's doing and its products. You'll start doing a rabbit hole situation. You'll start doing a deep dive. Believe me. And so, in the process of doing that, assuming you don't get too obsessed, obviously you can go too far, you'll learn a lot more about that company. And by doing that, you'll learn more about their customers and beyond that, and their vendors and all these things, and you learn more about the world, about society, about the economy, about economics. And it's kind of a beautiful thing if you're a curious person, and there's so many beautiful benefits of that, and I mean, I won't go into the details, but you can use your imagination, even just having conversations with people about various things. You just have more knowledge, and knowledge is power. As corny as it sounds, it's true, right? And so, here's some examples of things that I've learned. And by the way, I keep looking down because I have some bullet points here that I'm going off of. For example, it wasn't until I was an investor in Costco that I knew that they sell 500 million chickens a year, according to the Acquired podcast, which is amazing, like 2 or 3 hour breakdown of Costco as a company from beginning to I don't know, a year or two ago. 500 million chickens, 130 million of which are rotisserie chickens, and that they have their own facility in Fremont, Nebraska, where they have relationships with 150 local farmers where they source their chickens. I mean, that's pretty interesting, right? Also, Amazon. As an investor in Amazon, I've learned that Andy Jassy, who's the current CEO of the company, not to be confused with Jeff Bezos, who founded Amazon years and years ago, Andy Jassy actually created AWS, I believe, back in like 2003. AWS is Amazon Web Services, and currently it is the highest profit generating arm of Amazon. Not the retail. I mean, I think it has higher revenue, but profit. AWS, which is their cloud service for enterprise and I think also consumer, is the most profitable business in this Goliath that is Amazon. So you have someone at the helm who has that in their track record, which is really interesting. And as an investor, you feel, hey, I think that's good. He's proven what he's done at the company before, right? Sundar Pichai, who is the current CEO of Google, he actually is credited with creating Chrome. You know, that browser that you use on your phone and on the computer, on the iPad, all that. He actually created that in house way back in the day. And now he's the CEO. He's been selected by the founders, Sergey and Larry, to be the CEO of Google. That's really interesting to me, right? So, in summary, you learn a lot about these companies that you're invested in. And by doing that, you learn so much more about the world. And again, if you're a curious person, which I think artists in general are, it's a beautiful thing. You just learn more, right? This one has a little bit more emotional weight to it, but investing has helped me during hard times, right? So, for example, I was in Taiwan pursuing music for about a good, I don't know, 8 or 9 years after college, during and after college. And, if you're a musician or if you've ever pursued music, it's difficult, right? It's not like you write a song and you're like, oh my God, this song's amazing. Everyone's going to love it. And that's going to happen. It's like YouTube videos, right? Like you don't know what's going to hit, you don't know what's going to resonate with people. And so it's very unpredictable, right? And so you could go through a hiatus where you're just not seeing much return or income, right? And so investing has been great for that. And what I mean by that is not that I'm day trading again, it's that I've put money into the market. I've done my research, very important, and I put my money in the market a long time ago, whether in Starbucks or Apple, and to see that okay, I have that backup source there, right? And it's like it's still working in the background while I pursue what I want to pursue at my the core of my heart. What makes my soul full is art, right? And so I appreciate that investing has allowed me to do that. Not only to know that I have a backup source, but that it's growing over time. Yes, there may be recessions, there may be downturns, or the market could go down. It's volatile, but again, over time, it goes up, right? So, when modeling slows down, which it does, you it's nice. It's nice to know that money's there, and acting too, right? In between auditions or jobs, it's a really cutthroat industry. You can do like 100 auditions, maybe you get one callback. That's not even a job. That's a callback, right? It's really hard to say, right? And so it's been really nice in that respect. And it's also nice that you can continue to grow that over time. So when you do get paychecks, you take a little bit of that and you put it back into your investments, right? It's a beautiful thing. Final reason is investing can be a hedge against a possible loss of your job or being replaced by AI. As crazy as that sounds, the fact of the matter is, um, you know, the corporations in America, their prime objective is to increase their profit, right? So if you think about it in basic terms, if a human requires compensation, obviously, health insurance, a 401k, and then if you, 8 hours, they can only work 8 hours a day, not Saturdays and Sundays. And if you piss them off, they could form a union and protest against you and slow down the objective of increasing their profit. And then you compare that to an AI that can, let's say, do this job as well as a human, if not better. And then it can work 24/7, including weekends. And it doesn't require 401k health insurance. It can't form a union. Then who do you think the corporation is going to go with, right? And listen, as dire as that sounds, I'm not saying this is where it's all headed. Humans always adapt and they come up with um, these amazing new avenues of opportunity, right? Like in the 90s, do you think people thought that they were going to be sleeping in a stranger's bed and paying them money for it? That's Airbnb. Do you think people were going to hop in the back of some stranger's car and pay a company for it to get them from point A to point B? That's Uber and Lyft. Or getting into self-driving cars like Waymos. Uh, I don't think many people were thinking that would be a like legitimate business that would permeate all of society, right? So there's going to be awesome opportunities that we cannot even fathom right now that will come out of AI that will continue to extend the relevance of human beings and what we can provide. But I think that if you think that AI is going to continue to persist in society and it's going to unlock a lot of value for companies, then investing in those companies may not be the worst idea. Obviously, if there's ethics involved in all these things, but if you want to be able to continue to pursue your art or whatever you're doing apart from investing, I do think it's a good hedge against the possibility of losing your job to AI. So there you have it. That's how investing has changed my life, made my life better, and how I think it can help you make your life better as well. If you enjoyed the video, please hit subscribe. It helps the algorithm, it helps me, and I'll see you in future videos. Thank you so much.